All right, what if I told you the secret to your achy knees or stiff fingers wasn't actually in your joints at all, but somewhere you'd probably never think to look? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating connection that's totally changing how we look at arthritis. And it really all boils down to one simple question. Yeah, this is the big one. It might sound a little out there, but this is the question that's driving a ton of new research. So let's follow the evidence and see how trouble in our digestive system could actually be sending alarm bells all the way to our joints. And look, this isn't some niche issue we're talking about. To get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number, 303 million. That's how many people were dealing with just one type of arthritis, osteoarthritis. And that was way back in 2017. The numbers have only gone up, so this is a massive global health problem. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to meet the main character in our story. This vast, incredibly complex world that's living inside every single one of us. Think of your gut microbiota like a huge, bustling city inside your digestive tract. It's packed with trillions of tiny residents, bacteria, viruses, fungi, you name it. And when this city is running well, it's absolutely essential for our health. It helps with digestion, supports our immune system. I mean, the whole thing is a really delicate, important relationship. But what happens when that inner city just falls into chaos? Well, there's a word for that, dysbiosis. It's basically an imbalance, where the more harmful microbes start to outnumber the helpful ones. And that disrupts the whole harmony of the system, causing all sorts of problems. So we've got our problem, dysbiosis in the gut. But how on earth does chaos in your stomach cause pain in, say, your knee? This is where the story gets really interesting. Let's trace the pathway that scientists call the gut-joint axis. The first thing that goes wrong is a sort of security breach at the gut wall. See, in a healthy gut, that wall is like a super sophisticated security gate. It's very, very careful about what it lets into your bloodstream. But when you have dysbiosis, that barrier can get damaged, and it becomes, well, leaky. So here's how the dominoes fall. It all kicks off with dysbiosis. The gut gets thrown off balance. This then causes the gut's security barrier to fail. Next, all these inflammatory compounds that are supposed to stay put, well, they escape into the bloodstream. And finally, these troublemakers travel throughout the body, sparking this low-grade system-wide inflammation that can eventually settle in the joints, contributing to the pain and damage of arthritis. Now, you might be thinking, this is just a neat theory, but it's way more than that. Researchers are actually finding specific microbial signatures, almost like fingerprints, that directly link the health of our gut to different kinds of arthritis. And what's really fascinating is how specific these connections are. For osteoarthritis, which we all used to think of as just simple wear and tear, we now see this distinct pattern of certain bacteria going up and others going down. For rheumatoid arthritis, get this. They have literally found bacterial DNA in the fluid of affected joints. And for spondyloarthritis, they found more of well-known pathogens like Salmonella. So it's clear different gut profiles seem to be linked to different joint diseases. All of this new science isn't just for academic papers. It's actually opening up a whole new way of thinking about how we diagnose and, even more importantly, how we treat joint diseases. It's creating the whole new path forward. I mean, just imagine this for a second. Instead of waiting for joint damage to actually show up on an X-ray, what if we could use a much less invasive stool test to look for the early warning signs of dysbiosis? This is a huge shift from just managing symptoms to potentially finding and addressing a root cause much, much earlier. And that, of course, leads to a whole new world of treatment possibilities. Instead of focusing only on the joint, we can start targeting the gut to bring it back into balance. We're talking about things like probiotics, making dietary changes to feed the good bacteria, exercise to lower inflammation, and even really advanced procedures like fecal microbiota transplants, which can basically reboot your entire inner ecosystem. So we're left with this really powerful question. As we keep decoding this incredibly complex conversation that's always happening between our gut and our joints, we might just discover that the real path to healthier aging and freedom from joint pain, well, it truly begins by taking care of the world within us.